Three, two. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Entab CampusCare EdTalks, an exclusive platform where the stalwarts of education come on board and express their viewpoints on curbing topics related to education. Before I begin, let me quickly introduce you to Entab. We are a 20-year-old IT company engaged in providing mature and futuristic school ERP CRM mobile apps to the schools spread across India and help in transforming them from good schools to great ones. Now, we have a very special topic today. It's about maintaining journals in school. In today's session, we shall discuss about the benefits as well as importance of it. We'll learn how can writing help in increasing memory retention in students and make them more self-aware. For that very specific purpose, we have two very special guests with us. So please welcome Ms. Beena Joshi ma'am, the principal of CKG High School, Govali in Gujarat. In her educational journey of more than 14 years, ma'am has been teaching maths, science, and computers. Welcome to the show, ma'am. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
And I'm so sorry, I don't have COVID. Please forgive me. Next up, we have Dr. Baljeet Kaur Sethi, the principal of Wisdom Global School, Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. Ma'am has also been serving as an IB, Cambridge, and CBSE curriculum developer in her educational journey of more than 15 years. Ma'am has also conducted several workshops and webinars for teacher training. Welcome on board, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure to be here on the platform with EdTech and Tab, I would say. Yeah.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
thank you so much for providing us this platform today.
Ma'am, the pleasure is all ours. All right. So before we go and have this discussion with our panelists today, to those who are watching me on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and click on that bell icon to stay regularly updated. All right. So Dr. Baljeet, ma'am, we have switched to the times where everything happens with a single touch. Since you are in teaching profession, how do you relate to the earthy touch of pen and paper?
I really, it's highly required that pen and paper touch because, these days the students, what they have opted is this uh, just surfing Google and copying, that plagiarism. That is, one of the drawback that the society is facing right now. Because if I look back into the years when we studied in our school time, so using a pen and paper and writing through it, expressing our own thoughts and beliefs into writings, that is highly important. If the students are going with that one single touch and copying from Google or any other search engine, and then that means they are fabricated. They are fabricated by the ideas of others
Right.
rather than producing their own self expressions. So that's very, very important. So I would say, like, journaling is like whispering to oneself and listening at the same time. So when the student is writing on his own, he is expressing himself, he is putting his original ideas into paper. That's very, very important. So it should not be curved by that one touch. I really love that time when we use that pen and paper. In fact, when I recall my childhood and my academic time, so the moment I used to get that pen in my hand, the thoughts came on the paper automatically. I could start with one sentence and how I completed one paragraph and then moving forward to 700 or 800 words was very easy. Why? Because we were groomed that way. We wrote what came to our mind. We wanted to express ourselves, and that is highly, highly important. So, a journal records a student's individual travel through the academic world. So that will get missing if this one touch thing comes into being. So we need to avoid that. We have to that materialize what the students are getting materialistic. That has to be stopped.
Absolutely,
I
ma'am.
think, yeah.
All right, moving forward, ma'am. Beena, ma'am, do you agree that journaling and writing on paper increase memory retention in students, and writing with our own hands also helps in recall value, and specifically when we are giving exams, tab blank na ho jaye.
Yeah, definitely. I strongly believe that writing on paper increase our memory retention because even we have seen that if any word or sentence we are writing on the paper, then it captured in our brain and stored for a long time in our memory. I think when anyone is writing on computer, they are just pressing the keys And when we are writing our hands, so we are moving our hands in this way, and that it makes an image in our brain, and that it store it for a long time in our memory. So I think it is definitely to increase our memory whenever we are writing this.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, moving forward. Next up, Baljeet ma'am. Our writing reflects our thoughts and personality. ये मेरी mom का favorite dialogue था. So, in your opinion, how do you think that writing a journal regularly can help in making the student more self-aware?
Okay, it is because when they are writing, suppose I just take an example. We take students to a field trip, right? They go there, they see the things over there, they come back, and they don't recall that thing. They don't put anything on paper. There's no use of that. Gradually, it will diminish off their minds because out of sight is out of mind.
Yes.
So after some time, students will forget what they saw, if they come back, they recall the facts, what they have done, they pen it down on paper, they analyze the facts, then what was good, what good happened over there, what was bad, what they could have done better, what could be the better opportunity, what strengths they could analyze over there. This is just an example I'm sharing. It can be in any aspect. It can be a mathematics class, it can be any activity in the class. So if the child is recalling it and thinking and writing and self-analyzing, that will help him to retain that thing better. Like I take a simple example. We go to some mandir or gurdwara, right? We enjoy over there. We come back and we say ki theek hai, it was such a good thing happening over there, the hymns were too good and that. But once somebody asks us what do you listen over there, what we usually forget. So if it is penned down at the same moment, if the reflection is there, if the students write their reflections, that thing sits in the mind, just as ma'am was sharing, that image builds up in the mind. So that is required. And obviously the strengths and weaknesses, like what happened good, what happened bad, all those should be recalled after any task, any activity, any time of the day. Even when we were younger, right now also I usually motivate my students to make diary entry. That diary entry really helps us. Even today, if I pick up my diary and read what happened in my past, in my young time, my adulthood, so those are the memories that I have captured in my life. And when I reread all those things, I understand, yeah, here this is a change that has happened in my life. This is where I could have improved. So that is what the students can even, self-analyze themselves, self-assess themselves in future, that this is where I stood at that time and now I am here. So it is highly important. It should
Right, right. One thing which it's not only what happened in the. I'm sure you would concur with the same. It's not only what happened during the day or what happened. For example, I have this habit of writing every day when I wake up, and it's been going on since a very very long over the years. Wherein somebody told me to, and I read it somewhere. Maybe it was by Elon Musk or by Jack Ma, that every day when you wake up, you should write 5 to 10 new ideas that you get every day. So that after a while, you know how which one to execute it and which one not to execute it. These are for those entrepreneurial mindsets. It is basically keep maintaining a journal of your thoughts, of your processes, how you're functioning, how it also helps introspection, right? All right. So moving forward, Beena ma'am, writing in any form, whether it's an article, poem, or a story, helps in releasing stress and makes you feel light. Do you agree the same that writing can also be a form of stress buster for some people and specifically for students who are going to go through their board examinations?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I agree, strongly believe that writing on the paper is the stress buster, because if you are not people oriented, means you are suppose introvert, then you are keeping the things inside you. You are not free to speak. So sometimes you need something to express yourself. I think that is the best idea, to write down. So writing diary is a very good option in this case, which can release the stress. So I think at least minimum 10 to 15 minutes, we should write the things to express ourselves. So based on, suppose the students are suppose writing, they can write down the things which bother them. We can write down the things which, how the emotions, how they are reacting in any emotions. what is the happiness. Based on this, they can absolutely write down 10 to 15 minutes every day. And for board exam, what you are telling, definitely whatever things we are telling again and again, you have to write in the notebooks or your journals. Then only it will remind you. It will be stored in your memory. So definitely, it will somewhere it will depress. It will release you from the depression. And when you are writing and you are checking yourself, oh, okay, I'm able to do this, so it will definitely release your tension. So it is the best idea for the preparation of the board to write down more and more in the journals.
Right. All right. Last but not the least, Dr. Baljeet, ma'am, I remember once hearing that an educator used a journaling practicing in maths class where he asked the student to write few lines like the hardest concept to learn in this unit for this because of this. Basically, I couldn't complete this task because of so and so reason. This practice actually helped that person to get real feedback, from students, which helped in improving his teaching methods and everything. Similarly, is the case with many customer service people, right? Do you think? What are your thoughts about these type of activities? Does it help?
They really help. They really help because we take these in regular practice in our school also. Whatever the students are practicing, we usually the last 10 minutes of the day in the school, we do allow the students to reflect back on what they have learned throughout the day. So what happened well? What was the best part of the day? What could they have done better? So we usually give those reflection starters to the students, and these reflection starters help them to recall like what could be done, like where I lagged today, where was a place where I like this now ma'am was sharing this. I will go back to the question that you just asked to ma'am regarding the poetry.
Right.
So poem is something I really lavish. I really love going through. If I talk about one of the poetry that I always like, the road not taken, it clearly shows that how the author must have felt deep inside, the poet must have felt deep inside, that this road not taken and this road taken is a very very common topic. And I
Yeah.
usually talk this with my students, tell them this, that there are always two things in life. So it's like if we talk about daffodils by William Wordsworth, and if we think of the poet's imagination, how he has recalled how the daffodils, and it takes us to that imaginative world. Similarly, with the students, like if we tell them to mug up the poems, it's a different thing. But if we tell them to compose a poem on their own, to recall, to reflect what they have learned, or anything they want to express in the form of poetry, rather than mugging 10 lines of a poetry, if they, write 4 lines on their own, expressing their original ideas, thoughts on paper, that helps them better. So reflection is very very important. It's like a personal journal. It's an ideal environment that is provided to the students, and it is a perfect place where the children can think, feel, discover, explore, and express on their own. So I would say it's a great need that they need to write these journals in their life. They should maintain. It can be in the form of an article. Had these poets not been there, had these authors not been there, where would the world have been?
Of course.
So maintaining journals is one of the important part and parcel of our lives, and we should encourage our students to do that. It can be in any mode. It can be in the form of poetry or an article or a letter. Many times students are not able to express themselves verbally with the teachers. They do write small letters. They make cards. They express themselves through cards. So that is another way of journalizing their facts. So this is highly important, very important in the school life, as well as and this habit forms from the school life and it carries out throughout their life.
Right.
Just I want to add, actually,
Yes,
ma'am
ma'am.
is telling every day we are doing. This is also learning for me because we are not doing every day. But whenever any event is there, we are telling children to write down this and express your views.
We
So it is
usually
good
do
idea.
it as a walk away activity in the last 10 minutes when it is grooming time for the children, or the last departure 10 minutes. So they usually write the reflections and then they put pin it on the board while going. So this is like we did. These days, obviously, with online somewhere it's less in practice. But when the students are with us in the school, they enjoy this activity. Yeah.
But that's actually a very wonderful way to actually reflect on the thoughts and the proceedings that happen and what students could retain. and what they actually got from it. So good initiative, Dr. Baljeet Kaur ma'am. So there you go, everybody. See, maintaining journal is not, you do not have to take it as a task. It is something which should be inbuilt. That, take it as a hobby. That, what I love, and what Baljeet ma'am and Beena ma'am mentioned about poetry. Yes. See, it's not about why to go for other poets. Make your own words, make your own lines. Nowadays, we see all the young generation who's watching us, all the kids. We see rappers coming out. So, what is rap? Rap is all about rhythm and poetry. That's the full form of rap. So start maintaining journals, all the young girls and guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Baljeet Kaur ma'am. Thank you so much, Beena ma'am, for joining us all the way from Gujarat and all different parts of India. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you. Stay safe during these hard times. Till we meet next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for us also.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.